Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the APOA Santaki. Let's go ahead and take a look. Right, welcome back to another review. Today, the Santaki. This ship here is a medium fire by APOA. Now, this thing incorporates a ton of Aegean technology. Those engines are, just pretty cool. The way they can go omnidirectional, any direction really, and it should allow this ship to be extremely maneuverable and quite the medium fighter. Now, we're about to get into this ship here, and I'm going to tell you, it's kind of a doozy. The Santaki starts at $240 if you were to buy it on the Pledge Store, or if you buy it in game, it's $9,355,500 aUEC. That is a very hefty price tag, especially if you were to buy it with real money for what you get, starting with the pilot here. There's only one seat, but you only have 872 damage per second due to the 4 size 3 Yang 2 laser repeaters. Now, these guns did come with this ship. They were made for the ship, and they're not terrible. They have a better capacitor than they used to, but you still shoot through it pretty quick. And honestly, that damage per second really isn't too impressive. If it was just over 1,000, hit that 1,000 mark and over, that would be a lot better. But sitting at 872, it's definitely not the greatest that you can have, but not the worst. So I'd say not too big of a deal there. You're probably going to upgrade the weapons anyway and get away from these things. Now, you also have 8 size 2 Tempest 2 missiles. They're not size 1, so already happy with that. I can deal with that. Size 2, 8 of them. Okay, you got a little bit going for you. They're right there on the wings. As you can see, it's pretty neat, their positioning. You'd think they'd be closer to the body. So if you lose a wing, not only are you just totally boned because of the engine on it, but now you lose a gun, now you lose your missiles. There's a lot of potential here for a problem. Make sure you try not to sustain too much damage too quickly. Now, that's going to be very hard with this ship because it's got a very big profile for a medium fighter, and it's really fragile. Now, this thing has 4,740 bubble shield, so it's 1 size 2 generator. So 4,740, not the worst. It's just a hair under 5,000. You can upgrade that, allowing you to get closer to 6,000 or 7,000, which is great. But you got to be aware that you only have 11,476 ship HP. This ship is very fragile. There's not much health pool. It's it's a very big target, especially when you're facing someone head on. You can't brawl for too long. There's ships that are half the price that have almost the same amount of health pool and are much more maneuverable than you. This ship here is supposed to be very maneuverable because of those omnidirectional thrusters, but it's not. Honestly, it's really not. This ship has a top speed of 227 SCM with a 493 forward boost and a 225 backwards boost with a top nav speed of 1,161. Now, the SCM speed, not terrible. The nav speed, I'm surprised, is kind of lower on the lower end. But let's talk about that maneuverability. You're sitting at a 51, 51, 150 pitch yaw roll. The best thing about this ship is the roll, and the pitch and yaw, terrible. This thing should be probably one of the most maneuverable medium fighters out there, yet the Hornets put this thing kind of to shame, as well as other ships. It's really too bad. This ship feels very heavy. It feels very weighty, and it's got a very low health pool. And then outside of that, you're sitting at 14.7 hydrogen fuel, which that's great, and 0.7 quantum fuel, and that's average across the board with your mediums. So not too big of a deal there. You ain't making the jump from Stanton to Pyro, that's for sure. But at least you're able to somewhat put up a fight. Now, I do like that the Aegean technology. It really does look cool, and it's a great looking ship, but there's a lot of options out there for much cheaper that could potentially be a lot more valuable to you. This ship feels like a car you'd bring to a car show and not really a car you would race with, if you get my meaning there. It's more about the looks than it is the power behind this one. And you can also see that this ship does have its full components in Gold Standard Pass, so that's pretty nice. It's kind of surprising, though, to get to the weapons rack, you got to pretty much have all these other items out in the open, all these other components, including, to my surprise, a relay center. This thing's got a relay box. I'm sure that's going to be common on most ships, but I couldn't imagine being in the middle of a fight and going, oh crap, I got to change my relay, and now I got to hop out of my pilot seat and do so. That's going to be some interesting gameplay. So I can't wait to see how that works. Now, let's go ahead and jump into a fight really quick. Of course, it's just going to be an AI fight. I can't get my player bounties to work, but we'll just go ahead and do that really quick and see how it does. All right, as we're pulling up to the AO here, you got to know one other crucial thing about this ship. It has a massive EM rating. You're sitting at over 36,000 on your EM rating with this ship. So you are going to be spotted. If it was a player, they would already see you coming. That is something to really consider with this ship, is how visible you really are, how much damage you're outputting, how much damage you could take. There's just a lot to it. Let's go ahead and get into this fight really quick and see how we do. As you can see, IAE is really dragging down the servers, so the AI is all over the place. Everybody's running around in Polaris's right now. So, otherwise, I mean, it did all right. The guns only have 60 shots each, and then you gotta let them recharge a little bit. I like that laser repeaters are just that simple, instead of like ballistics where you gotta go rearm completely. Now, this ship does have a very big front face to it, so you gotta be very wary of that. If you're facing something more competent, like a more competent AI, you got a really good server, or the fact that you're facing a player, there's potential that you could get in some real trouble with how big the front of the ship is. Now, overall, my score is going to reflect a few things from that high EM rating, the low ship HP, the maneuverability, and its price. This thing is a 6 out of 10 for me. It's definitely a beautiful looking ship, but it's not a ship I would pick out of many of the medium fighters currently available, including the F-7C Mark II Hornet. Alright, well, let me know what you think of the Santaki down in the comments below. Do you have one? Were you happy when it released and now not so much? What do you think of this ship? What do you think can improve it? Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.